What is happening, Magnus? Science! Been asked to check out the moment that RFK joins Donald Trump on stage at this last rally. Heard it was very interesting. Check this out. I did hear there's copyrighted music though, so let's see what happens.
Tonight, I'm very pleased to welcome a man who has been an incredible champion for so many of these values that we all share, and we've shared them for a long time.
Well, this is a bad stream.
I don't
This
think
is not
too many
clear at all.
people have heard of him. He's very low-key.
That's
He's a
it.
very low-key person,
720p?
but he's highly respected. He is a great person. I've known him for so long. For the past 16 months, Robert F. Kennedy Jr.
Where I get that from? Y'all better know.
Man, whoa.
Where'd I get that run from?
And he deserves it. He deserves it.
America.
For the past 16 months, Bobby has run an extraordinary campaign for President of the United States. I know, because he also went after me a couple of times. I didn't like it. And I mean this sincerely. Had he been allowed to enter the Democrat primary, he would have easily beaten Joe Biden, but they wouldn't let him in.
That's what people were saying.
They
A lot of
put up
people were
rules.
saying
I've
that.
never seen rules like you had to have 65% of the vote in order to run, little things like that. His candidacy has inspired millions and millions of Americans, raised critical issues that have been too long ignored in this country, and brought together people from across the political spectrum in a positive campaign grounded in the American values of his father, Robert Kennedy, a great man,
Okay.
and his uncle, President John F. Kennedy. And I know that they are looking down right now, and they are very, very proud of Bobby. I'm
I know some of you saying maybe they looking up.
proud of Bobby. You want to know the truth?
I know how many of you conspiracy theorists are.
And I don't think I've ever introduced anyone that got applause like he just got. I must tell you, I don't think I got applause like that. Amazing. It's true. Amazing.
Like a wrestling event.
Soon after I can't even believe I have to say this, nearly assassinated in Pennsylvania last month, Bobby called me to express his best wishes. He knows firsthand the risks incurred by leaders who stand up to the corrupt political establishment. When you stand up, you bring on some trouble for yourself. But
He
you
taller
have to do
than
what's
Trump?
Right. You have to do what's right
Looks like he
for the
might
country.
be.
I will tell you, we are
At least
both
the
in
same
this
height.
to do what's right for the country. That's one thing I can tell you. He lost his father and uncle in service to our country, and Bobby himself was subject to repeated threats to his safety during the course of his campaign while being denied protection by the Harris-Biden administration. And this is a tribute in honor of Bobby. I am announcing tonight that upon my election, I will establish a new independent presidential commission on assassination attempts.
Interesting having him there for that.
Tasked with releasing all of the remaining documents pertaining to the assassination of President John F. Kennedy. And they will also conduct a rigorous review of the attack last month. But I tell you, I have never had more people ask me, please, sir, release the documents on the Kennedy assassination. And we're going to do that. And I also want to salute Bobby's decades of work as an advocate for the health of our families and our children. Nobody's done more. Millions and millions of Americans who want clean air, clean water, and a healthy nation have concerns about toxins in our environment and pesticides in our food. That's why today I'm repeating my pledge to establish a panel of top experts working with Bobby to investigate what is causing the decades-long increase in chronic health problems and childhood diseases.
Let me tell you this. I am really worried about both of them now. I'm not joking. Wow.
Including autoimmune disorders, autism, obesity, infertility, and many more.
Wow.
We want every child in America to grow up and to live a long and healthy life. So I just want to ask Bobby to speak for a little while. I'll stand aside. I'm going to stand aside.
Wow.
But I can only tell you, I've known him a long time. We've been a little bit on the opposite side of the equation, but I will say this, he is a brilliant, I still think of him as young. He's not that young. I always call him young, but he's not that young. But he is a phenomenal person, a phenomenal man who loves the people of this country as much as anybody can love the people of this country. So, Bobby, please say a few words. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you, President Trump.
Bobby?
A few hours after the assassination attempt at Butler, I got a call from a safe food advocate named Kelly Means, who's been fighting for many years to try to end the corruption at CDC and FDA and USDA. And these institutions, these regulatory agencies.
What's with this live stream, man?
The big food processing companies, the big ag and the chemical companies that they're supposed to regulate. And he said to me,
Fox News, this live stream is a big old piece of trash. Do better next time. I've got this, Steve. Or you're fired.
that he'd been advising me for many years and on my campaign. And he told me that night that he was also advising President Trump. And he asked if I would talk to President Trump. And I said, of course. And about a few minutes later, I got a call from the president. And we talked. We had a very good talk. And then he invited me to come see him the next day. And I went to Minneapolis and saw him. We met again a couple of weeks later in Florida. And we talked not about the things that separate us because we don't agree on everything, but on the values and the issues that bind us together. And one of the issues that he talked about was having safe food and ending the chronic disease epidemic. Our children are now the unhealthiest, sickest children in the world. Don't you want...
I know this, for years people have been saying it's like, and a lot of people don't think of it this way initially, but it's like they think about all the medicines and the pills and everything else and, the drugs that are put out. But it's like, how about you help us not get sick at all? Help us keep the right diets and everything else that's involved in staying healthy as long as possible. We wouldn't have to turn to these damn pills, And now they're finally like, this is a thing. All this time it took, and now it's a thing?
Healthy children. And don't you want the chemicals out of our food?
Yes.
And don't you want the regulatory agencies to be free from corporate corruption?
Yes.
And that's what President Trump told me that he wanted. He also told me that he wanted to end the grip of the neocons on U.S. foreign policy. He said he didn't want any more...
What are neocons, Neoconservatives?
$200 billion wars in Ukraine, that we could use that money back here in the United States.
Truth. That's the truth. I like this guy right here. Yeah. Woo!
And the safest, the best way to build a safe America is to rebuild our industrial base and rebuild the middle class in this country. And don't you want a president who's going to get us out of the wars and who's going to rebuild the middle class in this country? And he told me that he wanted to end the censorship because the whole basis of American democracy is the free flow of information. And we know that a government that can silence its opponents has license for any kind of atrocity. And can you think of any time that you can look back in history and say that the people who were censoring were the good guys? They're always the bad guys. Because it's always the first step down that slippery slope to totalitarianism. And don't you want a president who's going to protect America's freedoms?
He's doing his thing.
And
Wait, for the young people out there. He's cooking. That's what you say, right? He's cooking. He's cooking. Leave the G off.
It's going to protect us against totalitarianism. And I want to ask you again, don't you want a safe environment for your children? Don't you want to know that the food that you're feeding them is not filled with chemicals that are going to give them cancer and chronic disease? And don't you want a president that's going to make America healthy again?
See if they come out with Maha t-shirts.
Thank you all very, very much, and God bless you, and God bless America.
Good job, man. I'm liking that duo right there. I'm liking that duo. Ha ha. Thank you very much for sending this to me, folks. I appreciate you on that one. Let's get it. Man. Post comments down below. Let me know what you thought, though. If you enjoyed my reaction and thoughts, hit the like button, subscribe, and share. 10 million subscribers. Woo!